And welcome to another episode of Crystal One-on-One. We are on location at the beautiful Le Chateau Brasserie Belge. It's a gorgeous day. And here with me, wearing green, which suits the environment, is comedian TUMU SIIME.
Yeah.
Hello.
How are you, Crystal?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. I don't know if the man. I'm trying to see if I can be a fashionista also.
Oh, you want to be a fashionista?
Yeah, something like that. You know, we comedians suck with fashion. Everyone tells me that.
Really?
Have you ever seen like a smart comedian? How many comedians are fashion forward? You see?
I would say
Yeah.
Alex Muhanji really makes an effort.
There's someone helping him out. It
There's
can't
someone
be
helping.
him.
It's not him.
It can't be him.
So are you trying to say someone
Yeah.
whose mind is geared towards comedy?
Yeah.
Style is like the least of your worries?
It's comedy comes from like a different place. You know, we comedians are like different from musicians. That's why you'll see some of even the richest comedians or the most successful comedians, like the Dave Chappelle's, they'll just roll out on stage in what?
By the way, they wear like jeans and t-shirts and you're like,
Yeah,
maybe a nice jacket, but
maybe, but even that, I think the publicist has to first complain. And also they have to put that on for the special that will air on TV. For these other shows, he has come out in vests and all that. Yeah.
What else about comedians should we know? Because he's already told us number one, style is a problem.
I think that we, you know, comedy is like it's more of like not like intellectual satisfaction. It's more of that. It's like approval driven. Like you just want someone to think that what you have thought makes sense, and they can relate to that. The moment you capture that, you're good. For musicians, oh no, after that they have to see the cars, they have to see the chain, they have to see that you have ladies, or I don't know, you drink expensive boats. But for comedians, the moment you capture that, the moment someone appreciates that content that you've come up with and they're like, oh, this is relevant, this is what we go through in society, and you're passing on a message using humor, you're good. Yeah.
I think, you know, because comedy is like just even relationships, basic relationships.
Yeah.
You would gel with one person because you get their sense of humor.
Yeah.
And sometimes you won't gel
Exactly.
with another person. You sit there and you're just...
Yeah.
Or some people say, you know, you can't date a person depending on your preference. But like if someone doesn't have a sense of humor, I mean, I imagine for you, that can be really hard.
Not really. You know, surprisingly, like you'd never know I'm a comedian if you were to spend like a day with me.
Really?
Yeah. Actually, most comedians hate that. They hate being looked at as just comedians.
No, I'm not saying
Like,
just comedians, but
like
I mean,
being funny.
someone needs to get your sense of humor because
yeah.
your sense of humor is different from another person.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I thought you meant that like in real life, like.
Oh, you're gonna make me laugh the whole time?
Something
No,
like that.
no.
Yeah, that there's like the rule of 10. I don't know if you know about the rule of 10, whereby if anything that comes out, like anything that is put out in public, like 3 will approve, 4 will reject it. No, 3 will approve, 3 will reject it, and 4 will always be like on the fence somewhere like that. So I guess that those 4 are the ones that determine like how hard you're gonna work, you know.
Okay.
There will be like people that really get you. There will be people that will always hate you. I don't care, even if you have the content that will make Jesus laugh, they will be like, Jesus is faking it.
That's true. There's some people like, I just don't find so funny. I just don't find them funny.
I get those messages in my inbox on social media. Someone's like, how can I block you? You're everywhere. I can't avoid you. Like, they are stressed.
What? Because you're out there?
Yeah.
And you're doing your thing?
Yeah. I don't know. I wish social media can find a way of helping people block pages. I don't know if that option is there. But like, there are some people who just hate you. But then there are people who are open-minded. You know, if you put out something, they sort of approach it with this neutral mind, like they just want to see what's up. And if you have those 3 that really get you, and then you can add on those 4, if you can win them over, and you're good to go.
Then you're good to go.
You're good to go, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are the names you were born with?
TUMU SIIME, Conan, Crispus, Chionga.
Did you say Conan?
Yeah.
That's a unique name. Crispus.
Yeah, Crispus.
And last is Chionga.
Chionga. I don't know what my parents were thinking. I just got the whole alphabet in my language. Just gave it to me.
You're
It's
about to
insane.
cover everything in that.
Yeah, oh Jesus Christ. Even my name, even after, because Tumusime is, people think that it's, some people like, I'm starting to appeal maybe to some people outside of Uganda. And they think that one of my names is, okay, they think
Yes.
Tum is like a surname and Sim is some other name or something like that. It's just one name.
It's one name, but you just decided to break it
Yeah.
up to make it easier,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Okay.
Tumusime. Someone told me that actually I should have gone with a Conan name. I don't know.
You know,
Somehow I don't
I have to
feel
be
it.
honest. When you say Conan, the only Conan I can relate to is Conan the Barbarian.
Oh yeah,
Do you-
the,
what was the movie,
yeah.
right?
I'm not a barbarian.
I'm like, do I know any other Conan?
For some reason, I feel that surnames sort of command. I don't know. Maybe it's in my head. There's a strength to them. I don't know. I love them. Surnames. That's why I chose the surname. You know. Yeah, something like that.
Is it because also it's an authentic, like, you know,
Yeah,
Ugandan name?
yeah. It's a Ugandan name. It's authentic. And when someone hears it, I don't care where they are in the world, they'll feel like, oh, that sounds African, or you know, something like that. So I think the identity is better defined by it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was born to Musime, Conan, Crispus, Chionga. I'm young. I'm just 28.
Why do you feel you need to tell us you're young? Who has told you you're old?
I don't know, man. Because
Where is this coming from?
I don't know. Like, there's some people just tell me that, okay, I don't know. Some people, when they watch the way I present myself and the comedy, they're like, yo, maybe there's a little bit of, some people tell me there's a little maturity in some of my content. I'm like, no, make me grow up. Still young.
Where were you born?
I was born in Bara.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, born and raised. Actually, I came this side in Kampala, I think, in 2009.
2009.
Yeah. But I was born and raised in Bara. I was a Huds boy. I'm just a Huds boy. I don't know if
Really?
it shows. Does it show?
No, it doesn't
Oh my
show.
God, I was a Huds boy. My life when I was a kid was just that typical village life. Wake up early morning, milk, take milk to the dairy. We had those dairies in the village. You just take milk to the dairy. Yeah. And then your father takes the money at the end of the month and he doesn't give you anything.
Hey, aren't you living in his house? Aren't you eating food every day?
It's not fair.
Isn't he educating you?
That's not fair. So that's really where I was born. That's my life. Sometimes I feel that's maybe where I'm like a comedian, you know. Because you know comedy
Because you used to spend a lot of time out by yourself.
I think comedy
What do you
comes.
mean?
I think comedy comes from you being like a stranger to the world, like being an alien to the world. So it's like you're a spectator, you know. And when you're like that, it becomes easy for you to make people laugh about things they should have observed, but they never observe, you know. So I think maybe because of that, like, that's where it comes from, I think. Also, maybe it comes from my dad. He's a bit funny. I'm funnier, but it's
Does he know this?
but
What
it's
does
funny.
he think about what you do?
Oh, he at first he didn't get it, you know, because he didn't get it. But then he's like, I think he's liberal, you know.
Okay.
He's liberal, which is strange.
Was he liberal growing up?
Yeah, surprisingly. Okay, like he's this guy that he wouldn't get shocked by an idea that is so strange to what he's used to. He would,
So he's open-minded.
yeah, he would try to understand it. So like at first when I was doing comedy, he was like, for him he used to call it mic check, because he had seen, you know, that property that used to run on NTV, mic check.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, guys come and do comedy and all that. So for him he thought that's what it's called. He didn't even, yeah. So,
Oh.
yeah, so one day he sees me in the papers. I think I was in Monitor, something like that. He say, oh, new comedians on that's sometime back. It's like, some new comedians on the block and stuff like that. He just goes and say, oh, so you do mic check and stuff like that. So I explained to him. I don't think he quite gets it up to now, but I think he's just okay that I'm okay.
But he has an idea.
Yeah, he has an idea.
I think that's all right, rather than, what is this business?
Yeah.
So you stand there and make people laugh?
Yeah. It's,
That's your job?
yeah, it's like, people do that all the time. Like I can also do that. I'm discussing with my friends and they laugh. It's a job now, you know, because you know that the older, my father is a bit old, I think he's close to 70. So that era, 70, and people who, you know, it's like they know jobs in the traditional sense of the job. Doctor,
Yeah.
lawyer,
Engineer.
you know. You work in a bank, you work with URA, you know. when you just tell them, I can make money off social media, they're like, what is social media? Yeah, something like that.
Okay, and what about your mom?
Hmm?
What about your mom?
My mom is, she's a teacher also. My father is a teacher. My mom is also a teacher. They were teaching college. So my mom is, she's from Bira. You know, the Randis that settled in Kava, Western Uganda. Kisoro, yeah, yeah. For my mom, for mothers, I think they easily support everything that you do, really. That's the one thing about moms. I think that's what makes moms great.
Yeah, my child, you came from me, I love you.
They're like, what are you doing? Like, oh, that's good. So what is it? Hey, oh, that's good. What do you do? Like, it's like they are on your side. So my mom is on my side. She supports what I do. But for her, she takes time to understand what I do. She even takes time to watch my clips and all that.
Aww.
Yeah, so she's supportive.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So you said you were like a typical herds boy. But,
Yeah.
But you went to school as well.
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where did you go to school?
I went to school. I went to Mbara Junior. There's a okay. First, it was the village schools, really. Other than that, you don't talk about them. Some of them I don't even know if they're still there.
Okay.
Because one of them I went back and there was a big hotel.
Oh.
Yeah, so,
okay. Yeah.
but maybe afterwards, close to finishing my primary education, I went to a school called Kabaterine. Then I went to another one called Mbara Junior. I was expelled from a school when I was in P6 because I was I used to fight. Can you believe that?
What?
Yeah.
You used to fight?
Yeah. I used to be big. Yeah, but right now I'm skinny. This is crazy.
Let's explain.
Yeah.
You were expelled in P6
Yeah,
for fighting.
Yeah, I was called into the.
Do you remember what happened?
Yeah, it was like a wrestling match. I defeated around 4 boys. So much as it was bad, I also feel proud. Like, that's a bad thing. So there are these prefects, and they just wear a badge and they think they're special. Know that. So they were telling me what to do and all that and everything.
What
and
they're supposed to?
Oh God, no.
But they were feeling
So
special.
I was in a fight and I got into they called me to the director's office and I called my mother and then it was a big deal and big headed and everything like that, so I had to leave the school.
Okay.
And then I went to another school called Mbara Junior. I did my P7 from there. And then after that, I went to Mbara High School. It's a school in the West. And I was there for 6 years.
Okay.
Yeah. Then after that, I went to Makerere to do IT. I don't even know why I'm a comedian. Like, there's nothing in my life that should have led me to being a comedian. You know? Yeah.
So even in school, you're never part of like drama?
In school, I was just funny.
Or were you a writer?
Yeah, I was writing.
Because I get that sense a lot from your comedy that you probably are always writing.
Yeah, I was a writer, but I think most of that came later on even. Because like the writing I was doing in school was more, writing for these magazines that the school releases like every year, stuff like that. But the truth is, first of all, I wanted to be a doctor. Because I did physics, chemistry, mathematics and biology.
No way!
Yeah, for my A-levels. I did that. So then after that, I didn't have the grades for being a doctor. I did computer science. Actually, not IT, computers. They are related, really. Computer science. And actually, I did some work out of computer science. I built some websites for people.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that probably helps you even now.
Yeah, it kind of helps me right now.
background.
That background, multimedia stuff like that. It sort of helps me out. Knowing how the internet works. Maybe something like that, I will know more than the average person.
Okay.
I will know a little bit about how algorithms work for social media and what I need to do maybe so I sort of get along because of that. But I think comedy just comes from the fact like from day one, a lot of people used to think that they used to tell me you're so funny. I don't know. You never see it, but you find people around you laughing. You just be speaking normally and people just think you're funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's when I decided to join comedy, just like that. Yeah.
So you said you weren't good at following rules at school.
Yeah.
What about at home? What about siblings?
At home, same thing really. Even at home, I never used to follow rules. When I was young, my mother used to discipline me, but then as I got older, maybe she just got used to it. I just don't know, because I just feel that rules are so made up, you know.
You still feel the same way?
I still feel the same way. I feel that the rules that apply to a particular religion don't apply to another religion. That appeal to you don't appeal to me. Something that can be right for you might be wrong for me. Something that might be okay for you can get me into trouble. Something that won't get me into trouble can get you into trouble. So I look at this as just...
But there's some basic ones, like, you know...
like rules
in
that are...
society, like, don't kill another person.
Okay.
It's not like...
well, in Switzerland, they have brought assisted suicide. So, you know, somebody might just be like, they're fighting maybe a terminal disease. You know what, I just don't want to count down my days. Just take me out, you know.
I don't want to live in pain.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, it's like, yes, maybe there are some which are a little bit, they hold almost universally, but also not like so universally. But then most of these other rules, I challenge rules. I just like to question them. Yeah. So I used to get into problems, a lot of trouble because of that all my life. Yeah.
You are that child.
Yeah.
You are that child. And what about your siblings?
My siblings? We are many. We are many.
Okay.
Yeah, we were 7.
Okay.
Yeah, one died. So now we're 6.
I'm sorry.
I'm the last.
You were the baby.
Yeah, I'm the last. I'm the one that probably they think will never grow, you know.
That's probably why you're saying your mom at some point gave up. She's just
yeah.
I've been through it with all. Now this one can just...
Yeah, when you're the last born, you sort of get away with a lot of things.
You get away with a lot.
Because, you know, the parents, they're like used to, I don't know, they're used to the fights and all that. For you, they're like, okay, you know, they're even pushing you to your siblings to be the ones to take care of you. You know, I have 3 brothers. No, I have 3 sisters and 2 brothers.
Okay.
So I'm the 3rd brother. Yeah, so I'm the last, and we all have a great relationship. They are very supportive of my career. Very supportive of my career. I think all of them have attended some of the shows where I do stand up. They just come, they support me. They support my work. They just like it. Because for them, they get it. You know, they know that it's a career. They know it can open doors. They just like that.
Yeah, it's a different space entirely.
Yeah.
And it's uniquely you.
Yeah, it is me. Like, surprisingly, I'm not even the funniest in my home, I would say. Yeah, like my brothers, some of them I think they're even funnier than I am. Yeah, it's just funny. Actually, the guys, they are funny. The girls, not so much. Yeah, but the guys, all the guys are like just hilarious. You just talk to them. When I'm with them, I'm the audience now. And the other comics is telling me jokes, and
so you're probably been picking a few things.
Yeah, I have taken some jokes from my brothers and I put them on stage, and people have liked them. Yeah, you know, they just like, it just comes to them naturally. Just like it's just humor, you know. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I mean that's exciting to hear that your family supports you. I'm very happy to hear that.
Oh yeah.
That's, I think, one of the biggest gifts that anyone can really enjoy.
I just feel lucky, you know, because some people not so much. Some people, they are not supported by their families, but me, I feel lucky. I'm supported.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's that moment where you actually branched out into comedy? Because you said you did computer science.
Yeah.
You.
I think
Was it someone who talked to you and said, you know what?
No, not really. I sort of felt, I used to, okay, like naturally, you will always find me like in debates. Like with my friends and everything, right? So I think there is a part of me that just likes to express myself, you know, like that. Like because sometimes I just be there and I just see people doing something and I'm like, are you doing this because that's what you want to do? Or from the day you were born, everyone tells you that's what you have to do?
You're that person who asks those hard questions.
Exactly.
Those uncomfortable questions.
You know, something like that. So because I always feel that there's a lot in society that we're not even given a chance to question. We just found everyone doing it and we're just doing that. So because of that, I used to watch some little bit of stand-up specials and all that, and I used to see comedians do that excellently. You just see a comedian do his thing on stage and he's breaking down why is everyone doing that? And it's funny and it's hilarious. And that's when I felt like I was watching Chris Rock. I was watching There's Chris Rock. There's another guy. He's called Russell Peters. You know, he's an Indian comedian. I don't, you know him. So I was watching those guys, and I was like, wow, how I wish we could also do that here in Uganda. And then that's when the mic check came up. I was like, oh, definitely, I want to do that. You know, so that was a spark. When I saw guys there do that, I remember I was watching TV and I saw Mara Daniel. I was doing that. I was like, whoa, it's actually happening. You can do that here. And then that's when I was like, let me just go do this. Let me just go try that out. You know, but at first it was more of me trying to try it out as something maybe like something I like, but maybe thinking I'll still work and get a job and do some mainstream.
But it would just be on the side.
Yeah, because I just like doing that, you know. And then I went and I tried to join Crackers. They were called Crackers at Defenders. It wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be, of course. Yeah, my first time on stage, it was
Take us back there.
Oh my God!
At the time you were like, oh.
That was some humbling moment. Because when you go there, you're going with arrogance and ego and thinking. Because I was watching these guys on TV, I was like, yo, I can do better than these guys. You're like, that's it. Yo, I can do better than that. And then you just go there, and you just get humbled. Because the one thing that you didn't have in mind, it's an art. It's not just you're born. No. Yes, you have the raw talent, but there is an art that talent has to go through. You know, there's
the delivery.
The delivery. You have to study the audience.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah? The timing. Studying who you're talking to. You know, you might have to twist something to suit an audience. You know, if you're doing something for a group of people that are drunk, you can say it the same way as people in a theater who are sober and they're paying attention and all that. And because you don't know that, because you know what's funny, some of the material that I've used earlier on in my career that people didn't like, I have brought it back and people like it.
Now.
Yeah.
Is it because you found the right way to deliver it and the right people to talk to?
Exactly. More of the right way to deliver it. The right to pass it through the art, to respect the art. You know, you as a comedian, you become funnier when you get over yourself. When you learn that something can be funny, but it won't be funny. You know, if I was to go, let's say a good example, I could have a funny joke that maybe will not be funny to a supporter of Bobby Wine. You know, you know. So if you're in a crowd and this crowd is people power, I don't care if it's the funniest joke, but if it's attacking people power, people will be like, "You think you're funny?" Exactly. Yeah. You could have the funniest joke about maybe incompetence in maybe, let's say, the government. But if you go to a crowd of the people that work for the government, they will be like, maybe you have to twist how you bring it out. You know. So at the end of the day, it stops being about what you think you have or what you want to say, and becomes about you respecting people and knowing how to talk to people and being a better communicator and knowing the art of delivering jokes.
True.
Yeah. So when I first went there to comedy, I didn't know all that, of course. So the first time there was a lot of bombing. A lot of things that maybe didn't go the way I wanted them to go. But then with time, you keep on perfecting the craft.
It's a learning process. Yeah. You can't be too hard on yourself. I think most people sucked the first time they tried to do.
And then until maybe I met Pablo. So by the time I met Pablo, I'd been doing a few things here and there, and I was correcting myself, and then I'd even learned to get advice. Like I would sit down with some comedians, I'm like, yo, what do you think? Change this, twist this, like that, something like that. By the time I went to Pablo, I had like a piece. I was good, like a 5 minute, I think I had like 4 minutes of really good material. He said, come do something, and I did that, and I was impressed, you know. Yeah, and then I think he connected me to my first big gig. And I was like, DSTV Mnet, it was doing comedy club here. Yeah, at Imperial. That's where I first saw you. Yeah, you were there.
I was there.
You were there, yeah. And slowly but surely, everything started, you know, bad days, good days, bad days, good days. But, you know, at least there was hope now.
You know, I remember when we had our conversation, well, I interviewed you on radio,
Yeah.
and then we were talking, and you said you've been doing this for a long time.
Long time.
Is this now like on social media? It's like everything was falling into place?
Social media actually came out different. Social media phoned me when I was a little bit different, when I had already like matured in terms of delivering jokes. Because I started out basically with stand-up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have a lot of documented stand-up because I was doing mostly maybe clubs, stuff like that. So, because I started, I think, around 2009, end of 2009. Yeah, doing stand-up here and there, here and there.
That's almost 10 years.
Yeah.
You put in.
Yeah. So, with the social media, my social media career was birthed from a TV career. Because I was doing a TV show.
Okay.
And the TV show that I was doing, somehow, you know, sometimes when there's some things that you always want to express, but maybe they might not. The TV, there's a lot of bureaucracy. I don't know, not
There's some
bureaucracy.
politics.
Politics, actually. That's the right term. This is, you know, sometimes you might find that the person that is supposed to approve something does not click, or does not relate to your sense of humor, and then something gets frustrated. And I think that's why we have a very big opportunity in online platforms right now. Because, you know, I might have something and it's good, but maybe the decision maker or the person that's supposed to okay it, he doesn't see it.
Yeah.
And then he's like, nah, this can never work. But so social media, my social media presence was birthed out of the need for freedom. For me to just put out my work out there and let people be the ones to judge me. And people be the ones to say, okay, that's good and that's not good. And surprisingly, what I'm doing right now on social media, the skits and playing characters and maybe and all that, someone told me this would never work.
On TV.
Yeah.
So you've kind of cut out the middleman?
Yeah,
in a way, yeah?
Told me this would never work. I don't think it's good. No. But you know, I don't know how I'm made. I don't know how I'm created. If I have a strong feeling that something is going to work, I will find a way of doing it. I will not give up just because 2-3 people told me it's not going to work. I will just know that's not me. I will find a way of doing it.
So you've always been like that? Because
I've
you've always,
I've
number
always
one,
been
not
like
like
that.
rules, question
Nah.
the norms.
If I have a good feeling about something, the only thing that can take that good feeling away is myself again. I will do everything and I will be like, okay, maybe this will not work. But just the first person or the second person telling me this is not going to work, no, you're lying to yourself. So I did that online stuff. And when I was doing the online skits, I think when I started out, they were not, like also like online, you have to also learn how to do it. Because now I was doing them like I was doing stand-up. And that's different because stand-up you have the audience, but here you don't have the audience. It's more of people like stalking you, or eavesdropping. I don't know how I can say it. It's like it's not people are not like seeing you. So there is that. You can't do it like how you do stand-up. Really.
Yes.
So I think after some time, I did a few things and I was adjusting them until I started playing a role of the former Zimbabwean president, Robert Mugabe. Oh, that blew up. That blew up. That was like huge.
That's what people really responded to.
Some people even, when I started doing like skits about our culture here in Uganda, they were like, "What, you're Ugandan?" Because I had an accent and all. When I was doing the Mugabe thing, I used to change my voice and something like that, you know. I meet some people, like, if I'm out, and they're like, yo, I didn't know you're actually Ugandan. I thought you're from Zimbabwe.
What?
You know. And actually, the funny thing is, even some people in Zimbabwe would inbox me, because the clips were being shared, I think, in Southern Africa, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Zambia. And people would be like, yo, you're going to jail, man. You can't be doing this about the president. They thought I was one of them. That was insane, right? And I'm like, no, I'm actually not there. I'm like, what? You're not here? Where? I'm in Uganda. And they're like, wow, something
That's
like that.
the freedom of social media, right?
Yeah, social media. Because for them in their country, apparently, when the guy was still in power, you couldn't do that and get away with it. Yeah. So slowly but surely, I just kept on, you know, add on a few people. You meet new people. The clips get shared by someone else gets to know about you, and it just blew up after some time. Yeah, just
So
yeah.
you said like you did computer science, right?
Yeah.
And then you even worked
Yeah.
in that space.
Yeah. I
So
was.
how did you make the decision to move into comedy full time?
Yeah. That
Wasn't
was
that very scary for you?
that
or-
was from my first shake in comedy. That's when I really tried to go into comedy like full time. Actually, now that's the funny thing. At first, I was at NASA Road.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
When I had finished, before I did the whole comedy thing, I was at NASA Road, and I used to, because I knew computer work definitely, I used to print business cards. I didn't have a laptop by then, so I used to go to NASA Road and sit in the office, and then when someone comes with little money and they cannot take them on, I just follow them outside. I'm like, yeah, you can work, come on. So I just get their details. They're like, so where do you work from? I'm like, I just don't worry about where I sit. I'm like, what do you want? Like, I want this and this, I want this one. It's like, okay. So I get a pen and a piece of paper and I write it down. So I used to stay in Old Kampala. So I had a neighbor, she had a laptop. So I would borrow her laptop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I borrow her laptop and I sit on the laptop and I design. So when I design, I go to NASA and then I print and then I give them to that guy and then I get paid. So that's how I was making a living.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was fun. I don't know why. Like right now, the uncertainty, I don't know, that it would make my blood rush. Like, I don't know why. There's something about such a lifestyle that's, you feel alive. I don't know. I don't know what it is about that. Like, when I look at it, I'm like, oh, that was a miserable way to live. But then again, I'm like, it was fun. I used to do that. I just used to wake up and not even know where the day is going to go. Right now, I would never want to do that. But then, I don't know, it was fun. So I used to have this idea that maybe one day I'll have like my own big magazine, and everything like that. Because I had a few friends who had plans of starting up like a magazine, like a monthly. We had even started doing some little bit of prototypes and all that. But then, the first time I realized that I could make a living off comedy was when I did a gig and I was on stage for, I think, 5 minutes and the check was $1,000. I was like, yo. I even didn't believe that money was going to come, honestly. I didn't believe that. So they're playing with me. No way that money. 5 minutes of jokes and you pay me $1,000? Like, no. So I was checking the ATM like every day. Like every day, I was checking and I said, like I knew it. I knew the money. And one day I checked, I was like, oh my God, it's there. I was like, that now changed my mind. It's like, yo, wait a minute, you can make a decent living off this, And that's when I really started being serious. Because I realized that I have a very rare opportunity to make a living off something I truly like, And then maybe after that, much as after that big check, of course, maybe the checks didn't keep coming like that. But, even after that, I had to get like some other job to maybe, pay the bills and all that.
Yes.
But at the back of my mind, that stayed there. I knew that this is something that can definitely work, And I kept on doing it until now. I'm now like a full-time comedian. That's what I do.
Did you ever feel at some point like when you were like, I can do this, and then something happened and you're like, okay, maybe this can't work? Did anyone ever try to talk you out of it?
Okay. The funny thing, the people that tried to talk me out of it were comedians. Yeah, it's strange, right? Like the comedians that are already established, not all of them have like a good heart, So whenever you would do something and it's not so good, they will be like, maybe this is not your thing.
Wow.
Like really, That's the funny thing, right? Like the funny thing is the people that support you, they are willing to stick with you even when maybe it's not the best work. But then like I don't know if other like other forms of the other entertainment industries, that I don't know if in music it's also like that. You just see someone like a big shot in comedy, it's just discourage you, man. You're like, why? I said, no. Why don't you try doing something else with us? Or maybe you could be part of you can be part of like the administrative team. You could be the one that helps out, distribute, maybe go sell tickets. Like, but that's not what I want. I want to be a comedian. Like,
And in your own way, in a
yeah,
different
in my own way.
Yeah.
You know, like, you can be part of, maybe those days are comedy groups. Can be part of us, but you don't have to be part of us as a comedian. You can write for comedians who are funny. You know, something like that. So those are the people that used to talk you up, you know. And then also maybe when I was doing TV, there was some little bit of negative energy from maybe some of the decision makers who tell you, you know. But like I said, I don't know, I am stubborn. It's very hard.
You're not about to give up.
Nah. And another thing, Crystal, I don't know. Sometimes I wish people could think like that. I take opinions as just opinions. That's it. You know, you just come and you tell me you're not good enough. That's you. And you have a right to say that. You know, if someone comes and tells me, oh, I don't think that's cut out for you. I just look at that. I just don't take people's words as stipulations. Like how Moses went and God gave him 10 stipulations, 10 commandments, and he was like, yo, this is it. And look at people like that. You could just come and you tell me, like, I think you should do that. Me, the way I hear that is that you, depending on how you think and how you view life, that's what you think. It's not a rule of nature. It's not one of the rules of nature. It's just that. It's an opinion.
So you don't give power.
I don't give power to people. I don't. It's very hard, and a lot of people, they just find that. I think people find that surprising about me, because I will sit down with you and I will listen to you. I just go do what I want to do. You know, if I feel what you're telling me, I'll pick some things. But if something is so dismissive, I'll be like, okay, you know, that's you. You know. So there are very many people who up to now meet me and they're even shy to talk to me because they were so negative. Okay, like, that's what they think. See, you will see. You'll see. And then now they meet me and they're like, oh God, we were wrong. But of course they cannot admit it, you know. Yeah. So that's, I think it's like, it's one of the things that has helped me, because I use that like in almost every aspect of my life. Someone comes and tells me something, I think that's them.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very hard for you to tell me something and then I absorb it and then it keeps playing in my head day in, day out, you know.
I imagine there's some comedians who've inspired you over
Yeah.
time that you've looked up to.
Yeah.
I would say a little bit of Eddie Murphy.
Very much.
As well,
Very
yeah?
much. Eddie Murphy. I don't think that you can be a comedian and you don't have Eddie Murphy on your list. It's just impossible. And he was like, okay, he is. I mean, not say much as he's not practicing. I mean, but he was such an all-rounder. You've watched Coming to America. Some people don't know that he was playing more than what? Were there like 4 characters in that?
In so many movies.
So yeah, he's playing
He's the guy in the barbershop.
Exactly. And you know, for him, the way he even plays character, he does it better than most of us. Because for him, he would just sink into the character, changes everything. The way he's speaking, the way he looks, it changes how he looks and everything. You know. So Eddie Murphy was big. So the international comedians that I always look up to, there is Eddie Murphy. There is Chris Rock. There is Dave Chappelle, of course.
I think for his mind.
Oh God, Dave Chappelle, his mind is unique. Yeah, he stands out.
And I really think his comedy is not for everybody.
It's not for everyone. It's not for everyone. But he stands out. The way he thinks is different. And the reason I say that, there are some comedians. You know, there are like comedians and imposters. There are people who just steal material of comedians and survive off that. Yeah. You know, they come here and they hear jokes and you just go to Mbara and say the same jokes. Yeah. Now, like Dave Chappelle, the way he does his set, if you were to take his set, you probably will not be funny with it. You know, sort of, he's different.
Yeah.
Yeah. The way he does his jokes, it's so him. That's why he's him. You know, I think that's why even in most cases you will see that almost at every end of his special, it's written by Dave Chappelle.
Yes.
He doesn't strike me as one of those guys that there are some comedians who will hire 20 people and they just do comedy shows, you know. So he stands out because of that. So I look up to him. I like Chris Rock so much because of Chris Rock sort of like the wit. I find him so witty, you know. It's like he's funny while being educative in a way, or tackling like hard topics
Like
in
real
society,
issues,
like
yeah.
real issues, and I like that. I like Kevin Hart because Kevin Hart is just funny. Like Kevin Hart will just tell you a story. You know it's lies, but it's just funny. You know, just come and he tells you how he saw a cat speaking. But he has a way. His comedic timing is good, and his work ethic. Oh my God,
Yes,
top
it's
notch.
insane, right?
It's insane. His work ethic is top notch. Here in Uganda, the comedians that have really Omar Dania. I like Omar so much because I think that Omar from day one he had always wanted to change comedy in Uganda from this. You know, before the stand-up era in Uganda, comedians were like clowns.
Yes, it was that
Yeah,
obvious,
exactly.
like obvious,
Yeah, calm.
almost like primary school.
Exactly.
To me, like
It
you're
was
appealing to children. Huh?
Yeah. You would never get a comedian and you hire them like for a corporate dinner because they have to put flour on the head and then
Dressed like a woman.
dressed like
or-
yeah, you know, something like that. It was so clowned. But you know, Omar from day one he wanted to move away from that. He wanted to make people know that you can be funny about a political story, you know, and that sort of made him unique, and that I liked that. I like Pablo because of his storytelling. Yeah, he's an excellent storyteller. He will, and he's like a pioneer in a way. He really created a path for most of us, you know. Then for skit, I like Anne, cause Anne has character, too much character. Oh my God, Anne has, even forget before you even hear the jokes and everything, that character she has, and that's what skit is about. That character, that thing that someone is like, I wish I had a friend like that. You know, that sort of makes people like skit, because skit is different from stand-up. Skit, if you don't have character in skit, you will not. It will be tricky for you.
It's not for you, huh?
Yeah, someone is like, are there people who are like this? You know, how would it be if I was? Someone is like some men are like, if I had a wife like Anne, you know, because of that madness she has. And I think I learned a lot from her in terms of building character. So like even some of my skits, I will have like characters now. I'll have like a character like of a rapper, or like I try to imitate like mannerisms of these ladies that self-proclaim that they're high end. We call them slave queens.
Slave queens.
Exactly.
You've been enjoying that for a minute.
Yeah, you know, and you have that, and people are like, oh my God, you know, like they actually do that because people know you know, something like that. So I even watch a lot of her work because of how she does her characters, you know. There's a guy called Eric Omondi, a Kenyan guy. Oh God, I think he's good, and I think he's crazily insane. So those are the guys that maybe I look up to, and you know, I've also maybe been inspired by some of the people that I worked with, came up with.
Okay.
Because I was working with guys, of course. There's a guy who has recently won the comic. He's called Omkebete. It was Omkebete. I don't know. He won the comic, NBS the comic.
Oh, the comic. Okay, yes,
Yeah,
yes, yes.
yeah. We used to. He's funny. Like he has that. I like his improv, you know. So like some of these guys that I was working with, also in a way like.
You know, some people may not be understanding these terms, but
Yeah,
improv.
improv.
Explain.
Improv is literally is when a comedian is so good at creating funny stuff in real time.
Yes, spontaneous.
Spontaneous, yeah. And Omkebete was so good at that, you know. I liked him. This is one of the guys. There's another guy called Ronnie McVex. Also, is now working. Is now working, I think, on radio, Next Radio. Yeah. So some of these guys that I started out with, also they used to give you reason to move forward, you know. Yeah.
I think it's beautiful when you celebrate, you know, other people and their successes.
Yeah, yeah. I think
like you talked about that negative energy, lots of people telling you back in the day, you can't do this, maybe this is not for you.
Yeah.
And a lot more people need to just embrace and actually push other people, celebrate.
Exactly.
You know, all the little tiny steps forward.
Yeah. These days that's a very big deal. That thing that you mentioned, negative energy. You know, I used to take that for granted now. I used to see people say motivational speakers, stay away from negativity. That's a thing now. Because negativity has always been with us, but because of social media right now, it's easy to mobilize using negativity now. You know, social media has made it so possible to tarnish and ruin someone because using negative energy, you know. And if you're a person that doesn't know how to protect yourself from it, you don't stand a chance.
Are you dating?
Ah,
Are you in a
I
relationship?
suck at relationships. I suck at relationships.
What do you mean?
I suck at relationships. The longest relationship I think I've ever been in was like 2 years or 3,
That's all right.
and like half of it was just a horror movie. I suck at relationships.
Why?
Is everyone cut out for them? I don't know.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
There you are questioning again. Maybe
I don't know,
not.
man. Is everyone cut out for them? I don't know, man.
Do you
'Cause
think it's you haven't yet found someone who understands you, or do you think it's maybe relationships just
I don't know.
ask too much of you in particular, or it's just not the right time, or what do you mean you suck? How do you suck?
at them? Because everything people say you have to put up with and all that, I just find that, oh, really? That's the thing, man. It's like, okay, this is a problem I have with them. It's like perfect relationships work against what they should be. Someone comes and tells you, oh, your relationships are good, you'll be happy. I mean, they start telling you what makes a relationship sustainable. They tell you, you have to sacrifice your happiness. It's weird, right? It's just,
What are you saying?
you know, and it's confused. Because you just talk to people and they tell you, oh, it's good, you get someone, you're happy with them, you compliment each other. Then now you say, oh, to sustain it, you have to put aside your happiness, you have to give up on this. You're like, now, so what are we doing? But I think maybe with time one day, I don't know, maybe like 10 years from now or 20, I don't know. Yeah, man, it's just hard. I don't know why. And for some people, it is so easy. I just don't get it. Like for people who are in relationships and they're perfect, I think they just even take it for
But
granted.
I don't think anyone is perfect. That right there is a problem.
God.
No one is perfect, and there's no such thing as a perfect relationship.
Jesus.
First acknowledge that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, there's not.
There's no such thing.
For some people, so that's why.
But then again, you see, I'm not being very. I'm not really helping the cause.
I
right now.
know, right? I sometimes think, I know people will disagree with this. I think there's like a talent for relationships. Like how you're a talented musician or a talented comedian or you're a talented soccer player like Messi. I think there's some people who have a talent to relate. I mean, that's the thing. There's some people, it works out. You'd be like, how are they not trying to kill each other? I think with time, I don't know. So everyone keeps on saying that you have to meet the right person. So maybe when the right person comes, maybe it will
Well,
be
maybe
easy
the
for
right
you.
person, but I think also you as a person have to be in the right place to have a good understanding of yourself.
Maybe. I don't know. I think,
To-
you see, that's why, and I don't know.
To be the best version of yourself for a relationship.
Yeah, you see, that's why these days relationships are no longer being defined in the traditional sense. That's why you're seeing applications like Tinder come up. It sounds ridiculous and you're like, really? Just a stranger? But you know, it is coming from the fact that like people are questioning everything these days. You know, so sometimes you look at people do some things and you want to judge them, but you're like, wait, am I even better? You know, because everything is changing so fast. The world is being redefined every other day, you know. But I would want to relate. I don't know. I would want to be in one. I would want to be happy. I don't know. They say you're happy. And then when you get there, they tell you, no, it's not about happy. It's about maturity. You're like, being mature means being sad. So it's a lot of things. But maybe
We have a lot of questions.
the way I just think, I think that it should just be, you should find someone that it's easy to be with.
Yeah.
If I get
And you can
that-
be yourself with, huh?
Exactly. If I find someone who maybe I can be myself with, and it's easy to be with them, then maybe. But if that doesn't happen, Oh, well, good thing I have work to keep me busy.
Well, thank you so much for coming
Oh,
on the
it's a
show.
pleasure.
Pleasure
It's a
chatting with you.
Oh my God, I didn't even know how
Just-
time passed by
I
so
know,
fast.
I
Right?
know we're wrapping up, but really, really quick. You
Mm.
said to me earlier
Yeah.
that you are looking eventually at maybe even doing some short films.
Yeah.
Is that now?
Yeah. Okay. So now that's a whole lot. But I get bothered by one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it when people tell you that to be a successful person who can make millions of dollars as an entertainer, you have to first go to the United States.
Oh.
I hate that. Like what you saw with Trevor Noah. Why can't we have art from here? Just like Americans sell their art to us from that end, and they take our money. I mean, people are busy. Some people are on Netflix watching their content.
Yeah.
People are buying albums on iTunes from here. People, we buy their products. We do that. Why can't you be in Africa, not have to leave your home or your district or where you're born, but you can cash a check of $1 million? So I know we are a long way to that place, but that's why I want to venture into short film. Try to see if I can package something from here and sell it, and I don't have to. For you to be a millionaire, do you have to move to United States?
No.
You have to sacrifice everything, and you have to say, and I hate that sort of thinking.
Mentality.
That mentality.
Well, you've put it out there now.
Yeah, I hope maybe.
That's part of it.
Exactly. So I hope, I don't know if we shall realize it during my lifetime, but I hope one day we shall see that, whereby you can be a successful actress or comedian here, and you can, just like Dave Chappelle, have a special, and Netflix pays you 20 million, and you don't have to move to United States. You can just make that money, and you're still in Africa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Oh, thank you
you
so
for coming on Crystal One-on-One.
Oh, the pleasure has
And
been
all
mine.
the best. Huh?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Party time,